Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story from Dorking Wanderers with me, Daniel. The recovery's on after the disastrous start to the season last time out, and things are starting to look good, so we're positive, we're happy, and today we've got our first European group stage match as we fielded our way through the qualifiers and we face Spartak Moscow away from home, possibly the toughest game in the group and a big test for our backup side. So firstly, if you have missed any of the season so far, which compromises of a transfer special in the summer, including the £88 million man and our first ever European match and the start to the Premier League season last time out, please do click back in the eye above to catch up with those. If you're looking forward to this one and European group stage action, please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel down below for daily FM20 content, weekly live streams which continue every Tuesday at 10 AM, and a brand new series this Sunday lunchtime, 1 PM, Macclesfield are the team, and that's going to be our weekend series moving forward. So lunchtime specials every Saturday and Sunday, but it begins this Sunday at 1 PM. So I hope to see you there. I'd love it if you could join me, and I'm really looking forward to it. But we move back to Dorking Wanderers, and that's because despite the disappointment in the last episode, things are actually looking pretty good now. So financially, we're creeping up, we're keeping the wage bill well controlled, we've got that extra bit of European money this year, and we've been able to get a few players performing at their best. You can see Zach Council's a star in Europe already, and we're going to take you through some of the heroes in every competition so far. You can see already in the team news, I've taken a calculated gamble in this competition. Gabriel Afonso and Mazzino unregistered, and we're going to play our backup team throughout. So what I've got to first do is show you the competition screen, so you can see who we're drawn in a group with. Spartak Moscow are the first team. They've got a couple of stars, so Zhao is an example of how good they are. At 30 years of age, he's played in the Premier League for Derby, for Celtic in the SPL, and in both the MLS and over in Brazil as well. And he's now scoring nearly 1 in 2 for Spartak Moscow. But in terms of the rest of the group, TNS is a game we should really be winning. They're third in the Welsh Premier League. They don't have any players worth more than 20,000. And it is the sort of game that we should be getting 6 points from easily. And then Genk is the third team in the group. Probably not quite as good as Spartak Moscow, but a decent side in Belgium, floating around the top end of the league, and they've got a couple of good players. So they're going to be a decent opposition, but they're one I'm confident we'll beat with our backup team. So in terms of this group, Spartak Moscow is the key. Can we beat them away from home? If we can, we're going to be delighted. If we can get a result, we'll be relatively pleased. And it's made more important because as we want to go through and win competitions, and don't forget, the board expects us to get to a final there, the Carabao Cup has taken away that chance because we've drawn Everton away from home, which you can see from the Premier League table is a very tough third round tie. And for next midweek, it will be a backup team again, and that's going to make it more and more difficult. So I'm looking at the Europa League 2 now as our best chance at a competition and our best chance at a trophy. Of course, permitting that we don't get a brilliant FA Cup run. But otherwise, I think that's what we're going for. We've improved in the Premier League. We've not lost since that Newcastle game. And in fact, we've won all of them. And Jeff Coppens is no longer unhappy. He was a bit upset because we didn't sell him on deadline day. But he's back in. He's scored 4 in 4 starts. And we're very happy with where he is. Zach Council in Europe has been a superstar. 6 goals in 4, including a hat-trick. And I mean, we've just got brilliant players everywhere. Our backup team is very strong in Europe. And our first team is very strong in the Premier League, and that's about all you can ask for. We've got our homegrown youngsters starting to make a bit of an impression, and the results are starting to reflect our happiness. So following that Newcastle game last time out, we drew 1-1 at home to Dinamo Bucharest. We have actually struggled a bit at home in Europe. You can see the Basel game after, we were a bit worse at home. So I'm hoping that will bode well for tonight. But it's Zach Council who got the goal there. We were even weaker than backup in that game. Solly started, we brought Williams in, we brought Jonton in, we brought Gleedel in. Unfortunately, Jonton got a knock, but we dropped out some of the backup players even for that one. Away at Chelsea, it paid dividends. We got a 1-0 win away in the Premier League. We sat back, we countered, and Jeff Coppens nicked one on the break. A brilliant result, a brilliant performance is exactly what we wanted out of that game. Then at home to Basel, a 2-0 victory. Zach Council with a first half brace. And in the second leg, he got a hat-trick within 25 minutes. We did sort of disappoint defensively after that. But Ewan Davey got a late penalty. Aaron White got one as well. And we look really confident as we progress to the group stages. In between those two games, we won 1-0 at home to Norwich in the Premier League. A blistering performance, but not clinical in front of goal. Though Jeff Coppens did get the penalty to win us the game. And the same happened in the next league game. At home to Birmingham in the Premier League, it was Jeff Coppens with a first half penalty. Josemiah Semedo got a slight knock in the first half, had to come off at half time. Correa came in at right back, Pollock to central defence, and it didn't have an impact. We still look very good. And then away at Wolves after the international break, Morgan Morale with another good display as Ilya Balic got a brace, including a very clever finish at the end. Jeff Coppens with another penalty and another victory on the road despite being outclassed in terms of chances. Wolves are a very good side, they've got good experienced players and they created more than us. But we sat back, we countered, we changed shape in the second half and went to a midfield 3 with a holding midfielder rather than a number 10. And it worked. We just looked really solid and we managed to get a good 3-1 win on the road. So that puts us in second in the Premier League, 4 wins out of 5. Again, top 6 is our ambition this year. It's the same teams up there really. Everton have joined the party. Brighton are in and around the shout because they've still got NSYNC scoring the goals for them. Although he's not their key player, Russell Soden does that. But at 19 he's got a long-term injury. He's probably not quite as good physically and he's unambitious. So I wouldn't be so sure that he's going to make it. Hopefully NSYNC will be joining us at some point though. We'll be going in again for him in January and Mitchell Baker, providing we can free up some finances. At the moment, just 30 million in a transfer kitty, so we might have to do a little bit of moving around, a couple of little sales in the background. But I am really pleased with where we are and this squad is looking very good, very strong and there's a lot of depth across the board. So what we're going to do is get into our European tie. We've got our first group stage game and it's the hardest one. It's going to shape this group. Are we going to be first or second? It looks like both of the top 2 qualify. I'm not really familiar with this competition. Of course, it's been delayed by a year in real life. So if we finish in second, we get $500,000. If we finish in first, we get $1 million. So that's going to make a big difference for us. 500 grand for a victory in each game as well. 170 for a draw. So realistically, we want to be winning as many games as possible. So with that in mind, let's go and get into the first one. Both teams get through to the knockouts. We've got to make sure we're one of them. TNS should be 6 points, Genk should be at least 4, and Spartak Moscow is the slight unknown. So our backup side, but we're in excellent form. We've got the 2 unregistered players and most of the first team getting a rest. And for us, bar Ryan Lima, none of the first team 11 are actually in the squad at all. So you can see from the 11 we've picked, we've got Ben Barrett in goal, and I'm not sure why, it's going to be Petit. So you can ignore Ben Barrett there. Petit in goal. Correa, Marakrouri, the fullbacks, alongside Walker and Solly at centre-half. Great to see Jack Walker getting football again. Johnson and Nunes in central midfield. Our old first-choice team a couple of years ago. Zach Council and Aaron White on the wings. Again, have been first choice here in the past. And Peter McLaughlin, the old skipper, behind Ewan Davey, the wonder kid. A really strong 11 for Europe, and I think they can compete with most. And hang on a minute. Now we're in the group stages, we've got 7 subs. Where on earth's that come from? I'm not quite sure why that suddenly come about. So let's find a defender. Is it going to be Pollock or Semedo? I think for this one we'll go for Semedo as he's slightly fitter. But that's the 11 we've gone for. There's now 7 subs in the group stages. Why it's changed per round I'm not quite sure. But that's the squad we've gone for our big game in Europe today. Tommy threw on the bench, Makinson there, McQueen and Williams the youngster too. Gleedle unfortunately still out with a knock. But that is our Europa League 2 squad. And we're hoping they can guide us as close to the final as possible. Into the Spartak Moscow game we go, and we'll find out in 10 minutes or so if we need to be panicking or not. 4-2-1-3 for Spartak Moscow, 2 holding midfielders, something you see quite a lot in Europe. It's a team with all numbers in the 30s and 40s again. I don't know if that's just a glitch. There have been a few in this series recently. The same as I've lost the games in the calendar. When you do the drop down on the menu screen, it doesn't show anything now either. So there's a few little problems going on. But we're going to ask the lads to pick up where they left off. Ewan Davey up front's motivated. Started with that hat-trick, but he's gone a little bit quiet since. So we'll be hoping for a big performance from him and Zach Council on the right, who's been a superstar for us so often. Aaron White on the left, we've changed the role to a winger. Peter McLaughlin, of course, strong at this level. And despite a few youngsters coming in, particularly in defence, that midfield 5 is really solid, really experienced, and all of them have been first choice at some point, so they know exactly what we expect from them. As Aaron White picks it up from a corner that's headed away. He's got a man over on the right, but goes himself, cuts it back to Nunes, and now Correa. Into Nunes again, just going into the attacking third, and we're looking for that breakthrough. As Solly plays a 1-2. The centre-half coming into midfield, finds McLaughlin. Aaron White gets it, beats the fullback, brought down in the box, has to be a penalty. and VAR is going to give it, I'm sure. A penalty given, Ewan Davey will take it, and can he get us off to a dream start here? A big trip to Russia, a lot of players left at home, and Ewan Davey thunders it into the corner. There was absolutely no doubt where that was going. Into the corner of the net, their keeper didn't move, and even if he had, he was never getting there in time. Spartak Moscow 0, Dorking Wanderers 1. A good first 15 minutes for us. And we're just over 5 minutes to the break. We're still going pretty strong here on the front foot, and McLaughlin's brought down again. I think that one was outside the box. They're going to VAR. But I'm pretty sure it was a free kick, so I've no idea why we'd be using VAR for this. It didn't look close to the box. I know he fell forward, but the referee's going over to the screen anyway. The joys of modern football that we all love. And Peter McLaughlin is waiting to find out what happens. Zach Council's on a yellow card. He's not actually had the best game. Let's see what the referee does here. He's given a free kick, exactly what we expected before, and we knew that, so why did we need the screen to see it? Jerome Yonton will take it, right on the edge of the box here. Into the back post, Solly loses out. He's going to be cleared by Moscow. And to be honest, TNS are doing us a favour as well. They're holding Genk at the moment. Something we certainly wouldn't have expected. As Nunes covers on the defensive and it remains 1-0 on the verge of half time. And there is the whistle. No shot on target for the home team. We've looked really comfortable so far. We're not going to vie from what Nick Haycock says, as we saw the dangers of that against Newcastle. And we're just going to try and get through the second half. If we can get a second and then bring on some of the youngsters, that would be ideal. But of course, we don't know at this stage if that's possible. Spartak just coming into it. You'd expect them to be better in this half. And Genk have now gone top. They've got their goal. They're now ahead against TNS. And Nunes picks the ball up as we look for our second. McCrory back to Nunes again. Into Davey. It's a great ball through. And Ewan Davey, right on cue, has come back to form. We said he'd gone a bit quiet, and he certainly heard us. And he is shouting loud from the rooftops today. A brace for Davey, a good finish there. And we're on the front foot again with 25 left. We'll see out this highlight and then we'll make a change as Correa finds his centre-half Solly. Back to the goalkeeper. No idea why we picked it up that early on, but Petit in his own box has so much time. They're not even closing him down. He goes to left-back McCrory. Plenty of time on the ball again, but he's given it away. He's dallied and he took an age. He had so much time and he still didn't take advantage. And Jack Walker's missed his header. A stupid decision. How on earth have we conceded a chance from there? In the end, we get away with it. It's wide of the post. That is not the best start to the game. Now, I have got to think about these guys. A lot will be playing in midweek in the Carabao Cup next week. So White and Johnson on the way back from injury. They'll be replaced by Williams and by McQueen. And then I think we'll bring Tommy Frew on for Council with Peter McLaughlin going to the right, Frew going into the middle. No need for the first teamers to come in. And with 20 minutes to go, let's try and hold on to this brilliant result. Just under 5 minutes to go, we're still comfortably ahead at 2-0. There's a throw on the right for Spartak Moscow, and it's hoofed long downfield the left-hand side. Shanov picks it up for Spartak. They're trying to make a grandstand finish, but we're pressing well and preventing chances. The defence has been really solid, bar that one mishap from McCrory, although they've got him behind now. Oh, I've kiboshed it at the wrong time. Correa beaten by the underlap on the inside. He just got completely caught out. And in the end, we do win it, but it's 2-1. And it's just taken a little bit of the gloss off. A really good performance, though. We're pleased with the boys. And a win away here we would have taken at the start. We're delighted with the result. TNS, what's gone on there? TNS have come back and won 3-1. They've got a decent target man there. They've got a decent number 10. How have they come back and won that? Maybe we've got it all wrong for this group. We get 500,000, which will help. We'll praise you and Davey for a brilliant performance. But as it stands, it's us on the Welsh side on course to go through. And no one would have predicted that at the start. What a fantastic turnaround. So the perfect start to our European campaign. We're looking very good in second place there. TNS beating us on goal difference, of course, due to that late turnaround. What we are going to do is skip ahead to Sunday, not to play our Southampton game, but to find out where we are in the league table. We need to see if these big boys keep winning, and more importantly, if Everton and Brighton stay on the coattails. It's going to be a tough weekend for us against Southampton, the ultimate yo-yo club around the bottom now. But for us, we're in pretty confident form. We just need to see where we are after everyone else has played. A great start in Europe, the domestic form needs to continue. So we've reached Sunday, and this is where the Premier League stands. If we win, we can actually go top, because Manchester City were held, and other teams have dropped points as well. Arsenal beat Tottenham in the North London derby earlier today, and that's been brilliant for us as well, because they've both had a poor start, so they're now on 7 apiece, which means potentially, if we win this, we could have an 8-point head start. Chelsea are just behind, they're going to be up on our coattails. Everton lost, so they're 2 points behind with a game more played. And Brighton are away to Burnley, where we need our old head coach side and our current live stream side to do us a favour. But for me, after the start to the Premier League season, and after that initial worry against Newcastle, I'm really pleased with where we are. What I'm annoyed about is that second half, because we could have a perfect record at the moment. We could be top already, and we could be well clear. We might have even got ourselves in a title race, but as it is, we've still got the odd slip up in us. But at the moment, I'm really pleased with how we are, as Keith Balters is about to go back to his former club, but we'll worry about that off camera, and we will be back in a little while's time. We haven't quite picked a game yet. I want to leave it a while, so it'll probably be some point around November. We'll try and get through 8 to 10 games. Maybe we'll come back for either Genk or Spartak Moscow at home, and maybe a Brentford or a Burnley in between that. We've got a league game there too. Might even have a Carabao Cup tie if we're still in it, so we'll wait and see on that front. But if you did enjoy this episode and that more encouraging start to our European group stage campaign, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about our form, our recovery in the Premier League, and an opportunity for us to really push on now and compete for trophies. Hopefully one of the domestic cups or the Europa League 2 will be our first major one this year. But there's a long way to go yet, and it could all go wrong. Inconsistency is always the worry. But let me know how you think we will get on this year and what you think will happen in all competitions. If you haven't already, please subscribe down below and turn on that notification bell. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel, including a brand new FM20 series which starts this Sunday at 1 PM. It's Macclesfield Town who are the stars of the show, and I'd really love it if you could join along. So please do set your alarm and come and join me for that one, because it's going to be a lot of fun. There's also weekly live streams which continue every Tuesday at 10 AM. There's full replays available on the channel for the whole series so far from that. And please do give the podcast channel a try in the eye above as well. We've got interviews, vlogs, predictions, topical podcasts too. There's been loads of content recently and we're growing really quickly. So thank you so much for your support and I hope you continue to enjoy it. But a big thanks for your support with this one as we move into another season with Dorking. And we're finally flying in Europe. The flag's been waiting for 16 years, but it is now going, and hopefully we can start our first campaign with a trophy. I hope you'll join me for the rest of it to find out. Thanks for watching.